part of the particular skills that the Muslim preacher needs to possess. And the second requisites بعدين العلوم الدنيوية العلوم العلمية, which in contrast to the religious sciences. So we call the religious sciences العلوم الدينية, and with the mundane sciences العلوم الدنيوية. Okay, you can't just call them natural sciences, would be fine, but we need to find relevant adjective that presents the scientific methods of investigation, like people who are educated in chemistry, in mathematics, in natural history, or any other particular discipline that address all other subjects that except or save the religious sciences. The second half, or the second fold that we covered as well as a required skill or experience in the in the course of da'wah, is the personal attitude of the preacher. And we said that this is very important to the success of the Islamic preaching of this person, without which your aim will not be achieved. And regarding the personal skills, we said that it is how the Muslim preacher should have self-endurance and self-constraint and broad-mindedness, and have some kind of good sense of humor, something that reflects their ability to communicate the message of Islam to others without being labeled as biased or hard on them, on the non-Muslims. That was the subject for the second lecture. Excuse me. The third lecture discussed one of the 4 questions that we raised in the beginning about the delivery of the message of da'wah. And these 4 questions asked about where and how and when and what to present. We have a message, we have something to deliver. We're talking about the know-how, how to take this from square 1 to square 2. And in the course of this mission or journey, we're trying to find answers to these 4 questions. So in the first part of these 4 questions, we addressed the question of where to present it. We're talking about the place. We're talking about the channel. And in this regard, we try to excuse me. We try to figure out some of the particular channels that we can follow, that we can use in order to communicate the message of Islam to others. And in this connection, we proposed, among others, the channels of the mass media, the satellite channels, and the personal presentation of some lectures in mosques or other places, and leaving flyers in the mailbox of people, or even the provision of some video tapes and CDs or cassette tapes or so that will have some information about Islam to others, and invitation of some small groups of people to private occasions to discuss things about Islam with them, making use of our religious ceremonies, the feasts like we have for the ceremonies of the Eid, the ceremonies of the celebration of the birth of the Prophet ﷺ, any other particular occasion that we can invite others or non-Muslims to, in order to illuminate their understanding about Islam, through which this would be good. And we as well discussed the rest of the different channels that we can use for communicating the message without going into much details about this. That was with regard to the first question, which is where to present. Today we'll be looking at hopefully the rest of the 3 questions, which is what to present and how to present, and what to present and how to present, and when to present. So it's talking about the object of the delivery. We're talking about the content of the message, This is what to present, what particular issues that we need to look at, and then we were looking at when to present. We were looking at the times. If you remember when some of you raised the question about when you are inviting someone to Islam and they do not have this kind of enthusiasm to consider your invitation, or they do not have the time, they lack the interest or so forth. So these points will answer these questions inshallah today, which will make us more open-minded about why these people do not have the interest to ask about Islam or to get further information about it. So this is about the time. The third one would be how to present it. We're talking about the means, the particular way, which will cover one of the guidelines that the Quran, the Holy Quran, the prophetic traditions show to us about the intelligence, about the hikmah and so forth. So inshallah we'll try and hopefully to cover these 3 points today, and if not, inshallah we will continue on them and the rest of the lectures inshallah maybe next week. Right. So let's start with what to present here. I'm talking about the religion of Islam. Before you venture into the cause of the da'wah, the job of da'wah or the task of da'wah, we have really to understand the background of the person that we are holding a discourse with, or a dialogue with, or we are inviting to Islam. Because we need to understand your ground before you jump, like before you leap. You need to understand where you're going to leap. So you need to understand the mentality of that person, and this mentality would include so many things, among which is his educational background, his political background, social background. All these things will help you understand the mentality of this person. So you will select the particular discourse that suits his understanding and his interests. In general, when we are looking at the practice of da'wah to non-Muslims in the West, we usually try to understand their culture background. And this will be, generally speaking, looking at the particular culture that they were raised in, which in some way we assume it is a bit different from ours. We were brought up to certain guidelines that are judging and suiting our behavior in life. But for them, they have a different pattern, different style of life. Their way of understanding things, their methods of gathering information, the way they feel they have grasped the ideas are a little bit different from ours. Perhaps we can think of it like a logical style that they feel they need a proof for everything that they receive from others, so that they can accept it as a fact, right? So when we say that what to present, this would include that understanding the culture of this person before talking to him about or her about Islam. So when we're talking about the West, we can anticipate certain characteristics of the people in the West that would serve us to understand their mentality better and their way of thinking better. The mindset in the West of the people is different in that they give more credit to reason, to rationality. Here, for example, when you do something in life,